Have you ever carried a quiet feeling that you were different from the people around you, even when you couldn't explain why? Maybe you've walked away from moments thinking something protected me, as if an unseen force stepped in at the last possible second. Or perhaps you've noticed patterns in your life, the strange timing, the painful twists, the lucky escapes, and wondered why everything feels connected, stitched together by an invisible thread. If you've ever sensed that your life isn't random, that there's a deeper meaning behind your experiences, then this video is speaking directly to you. Today, we are not talking about fate as a metaphor or spirituality as vague symbolism. We are exploring something physical, something ancient, documented, and surprisingly consistent across cultures. A mark on the left hand that has appeared for centuries in spiritual traditions, esoteric teachings, and mystic lineages. A mark that many people carry without ever realizing its meaning. In this video, I will guide you through what this mark truly represents, why only certain souls have it, and how it connects to your life path. If you've sensed a calling but never had validation, this is where your understanding begins. By the end of this journey, you may finally recognize that the subtle knowing inside you, the one you've carried since childhood, wasn't imagination, coincidence, or wishful thinking. You may discover that this mark is not just a symbol, but a confirmation of who you truly are and why you've always felt set apart. This video may shift the way you see your past, your purpose, and your spiritual identity. If you allow it, what you learn today can give you clarity, direction, and a deeper sense of belonging on the path you were destined for. Section 1. The invisible war around the chosen. There is a strange and powerful pattern woven into the lives of people who later awaken to a higher calling, and it often begins long before they have any awareness of their spiritual identity. If you look back on your own life, you may notice that your early years were marked by experiences that felt heavier, more chaotic, and more unexplainable than those around you. While others seemed to move through childhood with ease, you may have carried burdens that felt far too big for your age. There may have been seasons where you faced illnesses that could not be fully explained, moments where you came close to danger or even death, or emotional wounds so deep that they shaped your personality long before you had the tools to understand them. And through all of this, you lived with a quiet but persistent sense of not belonging, as though your soul was always standing slightly outside the world you were born into. This pattern is not random. In psychology, Carl Jung spoke of something he called the wounded healer archetype, an idea that those destined to guide others must first journey through their own shadows. According to Jung, it is through suffering and confrontation with the deeper layers of the psyche that the healer is born. The person who endures the most becomes the person who can carry the most. The one who has walked through darkness becomes the one who knows how to lead others back into the light. But in spiritual traditions, especially those grounded in Eastern mysticism, esoteric European teachings, and ancient initiation paths, this idea expands beyond the psychological. These early adversities are not merely personal struggles. They are signs. They are markers. They are spiritual initiations in disguise. Across ancient cultures, hardships were often interpreted as evidence that a soul was being prepared long before the conscious mind ever awakened to its purpose. Before someone steps into their role as a guide, a healer, a teacher, or a light for others, their soul is tempered like steel under immense pressure. The chaos you lived through was not punishment, it was preparation. The emotional wounds were not accidents, they were openings through which deeper wisdom could one day flow. Even the illnesses, the loneliness, the strange coincidences, the moments where life seemed to shake you by the shoulders, all of these were part of a sacred training that only later begins to make sense. It is through these intense experiences that resilience is forged. The soul learns to see beyond the surface, to sense what others cannot, to feel the invisible currents of energy that move beneath ordinary life. These challenges act like spiritual earthquakes, cracking open dormant gifts and awakening intuition, empathy, vision, and inner knowing. They push you towards self-awareness, even when you are too young to comprehend the language of awakening. They shape you into someone who later becomes impossible to break, someone who can stand inside storms without being destroyed. And here is where the mystery deepens. When the patterns of these early life initiations begin to align with physical signs, signs on the body, signs on the energy field, signs on the palms, or the subtle anatomy of the soul, a new layer of truth begins to reveal itself. What once seemed like random suffering begins to form a map. What once felt like a lonely war becomes evidence that you were being marked, trained, and guided all along. It is in this intersection between life experience and physical symbol that the invisible war around the chosen finally becomes visible. This is where the journey truly begins. Before we move into the next section, take a moment to sit with what you've just heard. Does any part of your story echo these early life initiations? Have you ever wondered why your hardships felt deeper, or why your path seemed heavier than those around you? Your reflections matter, because awareness is the first step in reclaiming your spiritual identity. If this resonates, let your voice be part of the conversation. Share your experience in the comments, or simply type, "My soul remembers," as an affirmation that you recognize the truth rising within you. And if this message is speaking to something inside your heart, don't forget to like this video so more souls on this journey can find their way here. Let's continue. Section 2. The language of the hand. For thousands of years, long before modern psychology or neuroscience attempted to understand the mysteries of human consciousness, the human hand was seen as a sacred map of the inner world. In many ancient cultures, the palm was not merely flesh and bone but a living manuscript of the soul. From the Himalayan sages of India to the Taoist mystics of China, and even to the philosophical schools of ancient Greece, the hand was revered as a symbolic and spiritual language, a language that revealed a person's innate character, life patterns, deep desires, and the invisible forces guiding their destiny. Palmistry, in its original form, was never meant to be a party trick. It was a spiritual science, a tool used by healers, monks, and philosophers to decode the inner landscape of a person's spirit. Aristotle himself, one of the greatest minds in Western thought, wrote about the hand with extraordinary reverence. He believed it was the instrument of instruments, a physical extension of human intelligence and choice. To him, the hand was proof that human beings were designed not only to shape the world around them, but to shape the path of their own becoming. When you look at the palm through this ancient lens, you begin to understand why so many traditions treated its lines and markings as sacred signatures written by life itself. In modern times, science tends to approach palm symbolism with caution. Yet interestingly, research in behavioral science, personality psychology, evolutionary biology, and even endocrinology has unintentionally validated many insights ancient mystics already understood. Studies have shown that finger ratios, especially the 2D/4D ratio, are correlated with early hormone exposure in the womb, revealing tendencies toward assertiveness, sensitivity, creativity, and even spiritual receptivity. Other research has examined palm shapes, crease formations, and dermal ridge patterns, linking them to emotional regulation, temperament, intuitive strengths, and decision-making styles. So, while ancient wisdom may have used poetic language and symbolism, the foundation of palm reading was never pure superstition. It was a coded system, a language of the body, expressing emotional truth, psychological patterns, and spiritual potential long before the mind becomes aware of them. The hand, in many ways, records both what has shaped us and what we are quietly being shaped for. It holds memories of our past, reflections of our present, and whispers of our future trajectory. And among the countless lines, curves, and markings found on the human palm, one formation stands out with unmistakable power. It is rare, deeply charged, and spiritually significant across almost every tradition that recognizes it. It has been described as a sign of an awakened soul, a symbol of destiny unfolding, and a mark carried only by those whose path is intertwined with higher purpose. This singular formation, when it appears, is not random. It is an energetic imprint, an ancient signature that the modern mind is only just beginning to decipher. Section 3. The revelation of the mystic cross. Hidden quietly in the center of the palm, between two of your most significant energetic pathways, lies a sign that many people glance over without ever realizing its importance. It rests in the space between the headline, the line of logic, reasoning, and conscious thought, and the heart line, which governs emotion, intuition, and the truth that rises from the inner being. At first glance, it may look like a simple crossing of faint lines, a subtle intersection created by life's movement across the skin. But those who study the spiritual language of the hand know better. This small formation, created by a vertical line meeting a horizontal one, is far more than an accident. It is known as the mystic cross. The mystic cross is referenced in some of the earliest European palmistry manuscripts, including the celebrated 1894 work, The Language of the Hand, by the palmistry scholar known as Cairo. Long before modern spiritual communities adopted the idea, ancient readers recognized this symbol as one of the clearest indicators of a soul with awakened potential. The cross was believed to mark individuals who were not simply curious about spiritual truths, but drawn to them with an intensity that could not be explained by environment or upbringing. The mark often appeared on those who seemed born knowing, children who sensed emotional undercurrents others missed, teenagers who questioned deeper meanings, adults who felt guided by intuition even before they learned to trust it. Individuals with a mystic cross tend to share certain traits, regardless of their culture or background. They are perceptive beyond their years, able to see through deception with astonishing clarity. They gravitate toward the deeper layers of existence, whether through spirituality, psychology, healing work, esoteric traditions, or philosophical exploration. Many report prophetic dreams, sudden intuitive flashes, or moments of inner knowing that later prove accurate. Their minds search for truth, and their hearts respond to meaning. These are not passive seekers, they are souls with an inner compass calibrated to a higher frequency. The symbolic placement of the mystic cross between the headline and heartline is no coincidence. It represents the union of intellect and emotion, a fusion few people master in this lifetime. The person who carries this mark is not dominated by cold logic, nor lost in uncontrolled feeling. Instead, they embody the rare gift of inner integration, the ability to think with clarity while feeling with depth. This balance gives them the capacity to guide others through confusion, fear, or darkness with both compassion and insight. They are the natural counselors, healers, teachers, and spiritual anchors in their communities, often fulfilling these roles long before they realize it. Even within palmistry circles, the mystic cross is considered rare. Many hands show lines that resemble it, but a true, well-formed mystic cross appears only in a small percentage of the population. And among those few, an even smaller number carry it on their left hand, the side associated with the intuitive, soul-directed, inherited spiritual blueprint. The left hand reflects what you came into this lifetime already carrying: your natural gifts, your spiritual predispositions, and the energy imprinted upon you before conscious awareness took shape. When the mystic cross appears there, palmists throughout history have taught that it is not merely a sign, it is a calling, a spiritual mark, a reminder that your journey is interwoven with purpose. It signifies that the soul was not shaped by accident, that the intuitive channel within you did not awaken randomly, and that your desire to seek deeper truths is part of a path chosen long before the physical world was ever involved. Those who bear this mark are not marked by chance, but by intention, by design, by destiny. Imagine a young woman named Alina who never considered herself spiritual. She worked a normal job, lived a normal life, and didn't think much about intuition or destiny. Yet ever since childhood, she sensed things before they happened. She would dream of conversations the night before they occurred, feel uneasy moments before someone revealed painful news, or instantly read the emotional truth behind someone's smile. One evening, while attending a meditation class with a friend, the instructor noticed a distinct cross in the center of her left palm. Curious, Alina let him examine it. He explained that the marking she possessed, the mystic cross, often appears on individuals whose intuition is not learned, but inherited, carried from soul to soul. As he spoke, scenes from her life suddenly made sense. The dreams, the inner warnings, the unexplained pull toward wisdom she didn't yet understand. In that moment, her entire life reframed itself. What she once dismissed as coincidence revealed itself as guidance. What she once labeled sensitivity became a gift. The mystic cross didn't give her a new destiny. It simply named the destiny she had been living all along. Section 4. Why only the chosen bear this mark? Throughout countless spiritual traditions, one profound idea keeps resurfacing: the notion that some souls are set apart long before they themselves understand why. This is not a modern interpretation, nor a poetic exaggeration. It is a thread woven through the fabric of global mysticism. In Hindu teachings, these souls are known as dharmic beings, individuals who enter this lifetime carrying karmic assignments that stretch far beyond personal growth. Their challenges, relationships, and turning points are all part of a much larger spiritual map, one that was written long before they took their first breath. In Kabbalistic wisdom, the same pattern emerges through the concept of tikkun, the soul's mission to repair, elevate, and bring light into places where darkness once prevailed. And in Christianity, this theme echoes through the idea of divine selection. Individuals who are set apart, chosen not because of privilege, but because of purpose. Across these teachings, the message is unmistakable. The chosen are not simply born into destiny, they are shaped by it. Their lives are marked by emotional storms, spiritual tests, and circumstances that would crumble most people. Yet, rather than being destroyed, they are carved into carriers of insight, compassion, and intuitive strength. This is why the presence of the mystic cross on the palm is so significant. It is more than a symbol and far more than a superstition. It becomes a physical fingerprint of a deeper identity, a sign that your soul did not walk through life blind, random, or unguided. It is a reminder etched into your very body that every shadowed chapter, every heartbreak, every unexpected shift was part of a divine preparation. When you reflect on your past, you may notice moments that felt devastating or unfair. Times when the darkness felt overwhelming. Seasons where everything seemed delayed, blocked, or painfully slow. Yet spiritually, these moments were not denials. They were not punishments. They were not signs that you were forgotten. Instead, they were initiations. Spiritual refinement, silent training that shaped your inner strength, awakened your dormant gifts, and aligned you with the mission your soul agreed to long before this lifetime. The mystic cross becomes the silent narrator of this truth. It whispers that your detours had meaning, your heartbreaks had intention, and your survival was never accidental. If you carry this mark, it means you did not simply survive the things that tried to break you, you were forged by them. Like metal shaped by fire, you emerged stronger, more conscious, and more aligned with your spiritual essence. Every hardship you endured, every close call that left you wondering why you were spared, every moment you felt protected by something unseen, they were all chapters in the same divine message. And that message is simple but powerful. You were never forgotten. From the very beginning, you were marked to awaken. This mark does not elevate you above others, nor does it guarantee an easier path. Instead, it serves as a physical affirmation of the truth your soul has always known: that your life has been guided, your spirit has been watched over, and your awakening was divinely timed. When you finally step into the fullness of who you are, you realize that the challenges you faced were not curses, they were callings. They were the sacred fires that tempered your wisdom and prepared you to carry light into places that desperately need it. So when you look at your palm and see the mystic cross, understand that it is not just a symbol, it is a signature, a cosmic seal, a sign that your soul has walked through lifetimes of preparation to reach this moment of awakening. And now, as its message rises into your awareness, the truth becomes undeniable. You are one of the ones who was chosen long before you knew what you were being prepared for. If you've made it this far, it means something within you is resonating, perhaps a memory, a feeling, or an inner knowing that refuses to stay silent any longer. Take a moment and breathe into that recognition. Let yourself reflect on where in your life you felt guided, protected, or quietly chosen. If you feel called, share your story in the comments so others on this path can feel less alone. And if you're not ready to share the details yet, simply type, "I am ready to awaken" as your affirmation. Your voice, even in a single sentence, may be the spark that inspires someone else who is walking this same sacred journey. Section 5. The activation of purpose. There comes a moment in every awakened soul's journey when the signs you once dismissed as coincidences begin to reveal themselves as guidance. Maybe you've already started noticing the subtle shifts around you, the way the atmosphere in a room changes the moment you walk in, as if your energy arrives before your physical body does. Perhaps you've sensed people's intentions without them saying a word, reading their truth in the space between breaths. You have endured situations that would have broken others, experiences that left invisible scars on your spirit, and yet, somehow, you continue to rise. Not because life has been gentle with you, but because your soul was forged in a deeper fire. If you look back carefully, you may realize that nothing you went through truly defeated you. Instead, it shaped you, matured you, refined your intuition, and positioned you for something larger than you ever imagined. For a long time, it may have felt as if life placed you on pause, delayed, hidden, misunderstood, or overshadowed, as though you were waiting for something unseen to finally catch up. But now, the timing of your destiny is aligning with the truth of who you are. All the pieces that once felt scattered are beginning to form a pattern. The path that once felt blocked is slowly revealing itself. And this is where the symbol on your hand becomes more than a curiosity. The cross that rests on your palm is a quiet yet profound reminder that your life is part of a divine architecture, a blueprint written long before you awaken to your own potential. This marking is not random, it is not accidental. It is a sacred indicator of spiritual intelligence, inner perception, and a destiny that requires both awareness and courage. Once you finally see the mark clearly, a deeper question immediately rises to meet you. What will you do with what you now know? This is the moment when your inner work becomes undeniable. This is not about superstition or fear or ancient myths taken out of context. This is about spiritual responsibility, the kind that calls you into alignment rather than complacency. The mystic cross is not a decoration. It is not a prize. It is not a symbol of superiority or spiritual hierarchy. It is a mission, a calling, a reminder that you were born with the capacity to perceive what others overlook. Your presence here is intentional. Your intuition is intentional. Your survival is intentional. Your awakening is intentional. The mystic cross does not show up on the hand of someone who is meant to drift through life unnoticed or unaligned. It appears on those who carry a rare combination of sensitivity, spiritual intelligence, resilience, and purpose. Those who have been prepared through hardship, softened by compassion, and strengthened by truth. If you carry this mark, it means your life is not meant to be passive. You were not placed on this earth to simply observe. Your impact is needed not someday, not when you feel more confident, not when you have everything figured out, but now. The activation has already begun. Your intuition is sharpening, your awareness is rising, your path is unfolding, and everything you have lived through has brought you to this threshold. The only remaining question is the one your soul must answer. How will you use the purpose that has already been placed in your hands? If something in this message stirred a truth you've always felt but never fully understood, then trust that this moment is not an accident. If you looked down and discovered the mystic cross on your hand, especially on the left intuitive side, then today is more than a lesson, it is a revelation. It is the moment your inner knowing finally meets outer confirmation. Awareness is the doorway, but walking in alignment with your purpose is what ignites the destiny your soul has carried since the beginning. This is not just about learning a spiritual fact. This is about recognizing yourself, claiming the part of you that has always been guided. And now, I want to invite you into the conversation. Your voice is part of this awakening. Share your story below, especially if you found the mystic cross, and let us know what resonated with you most. Type this affirmation clearly in the comments to anchor your intention. I am ready to walk in my purpose. If this message awakens something real in you, don't let it fade. Like this video so more people can find it. Share it with someone who may need this reminder. And turn on notifications so you never miss another message meant for your soul. Your path matters more than you know. Your awakening is already in motion. And this is only the beginning of who you are becoming. Stay present, stay open, and continue the journey by watching the next video waiting for you below the screen.